Have you ever seen something like some racism or some discrimination with your eyes? Like I did have one discrimination experience in Japan, and I'm going to let you know why. Antes de comenzar, quiero recordarte que no olvides suscribirte y que si este video es de tu agrado dejes un like. Asimismo, activa la campanita para que no te pierdas ninguno de nuestros próximos videos. Konnichiwa, Misaki desu.
Konnichiwa, Neko sensei desu.
El día de hoy les traigo un video interesante relacionado con un tema que genera mucho interés y es la relación entre los japoneses y los extranjeros. Concretamente vamos a reaccionar a un video que cuando lo vi por el título quedé impactada y quiero que mi esposo como japonés joven nos dé su opinión frente a lo que dice el video. Y ya para el final, por favor quédense porque les voy a hablar de mis experiencias de racismo, discriminación, mejor dicho, lo que a mí me ha pasado y los casos en los que verdaderamente sí he sentido que quizás no me trataron tan bien por el hecho de ser colombiana o por el hecho de ser latina. Así que sin darle más largas a este video, comencemos. Entonces este video, como videos anteriores, lo vamos a hacer en inglés para que mi esposo pueda entender. No obstante, todo va a tener subtítulos y el video al cual vamos a reaccionar yo también le puse los subtítulos para que no se preocupen, pero si quieren verlo lo encuentran en el link de la descripción y los comentarios.
Do anybody know what those Japanese think about a Spanish person? Did you know your average Japanese person hates Spanish people? Like I have a Spanish Mexican friend. He went to Japan. They just punched him in the face. He arrived in Japan, right? And the guy at customs was like, "Can I see your passport?" He hands out his Spanish passport, and the guy just punched him in the face. Said, "We don't like your kind here." But he said like this.
You think your friends hate Spanish people?
No, actually, they don't know anything about Spanish people.
Up to that level?
Yes, actually,
wow.
yes. If you speak Spanish, they cannot understand what you are talking.
They may be thinking that I'm speaking English,
yeah,
but with an accent, like
yeah, even though you're speaking Spanish.
Like, you guys are so dumb sometimes. Come on, man. What? He punched me in the face. Come on, man. Japanese people love foreigners. You're gonna be okay. If you're not Asian, you're kind of just a foreigner.
You feel that's true?
Yeah, that's true. But actually, we can distinguish who is Chinese and who is
Yeah,
Korean.
that's why I said right. So you can say this person is Chinese, this person is Korean, but for the other one,
the other
foreigner.
one is foreign, but most of you are thinking
American.
other way there.
Or Europe.
あなたは外国人と付き合ったら両親は反対しますか？
いや、しない。
しない。
むしろ外国人の方が英語喋れたらいいなって思って。
あなたは外国人と付き合ったら両親は反対しますか？
いや、しないです。
しない。
全然結婚したいです。
Actually, normal Japanese parents say, yeah, that's nice.
I'm not going to go, no!
Because you can see there are people who come to Japan, most of people are educated.
I have one really tall, blue-eyed white friend, really handsome guy. Coincidentally, his name is also Justin. Justin said Japan is very racist, and he left Japan. He hated Japan when he left. He's married to a Japanese woman, okay?
Actually, I feel Latinos also are very favorite type of Japanese because I know the favorite appearance for Japanese. I think it can be white. Yeah, white is definitely, and also Latinos also yes, but not Asian.
But I realized we would be walking together, and Justin would say, like, we'd be walking, and he'd say, we'd walk by an old man, and he would say, did you hear what that man just said? I'm like, he said something? I'm oblivious to racism. He said, he told us to go home. America ni kaire. He said that, right? I'm like, what? He didn't say that. And
I think that's true. That happened to me, that there are people that are always thinking that they're being discriminated all the time. Like, people are saying things about me. Like, there are some people that, like foreigners in Japan, that they're always thinking the worst.
I want you to understand that I know racism exists. I'm 100% certain it exists. I've seen it in Korea. I've seen it in Japan. I've actually had racist things happen to me in Japan. But I would say that just think about it. Not everything is racism. If you can look at it if you can look at a situation that happens to you as maybe just a person's a jerk, or maybe it has nothing to do with your race, but it just happens to do with what happened to that person that day.
Kind of
Have you
people.
ever seen something like some racism or some discrimination with your eyes? Like, have you ever seen that experience?
No, I've never seen
In Japan, well,
those kind of accident, like a racism.
There will be obvious racism. There will be obvious racism, and I don't want to deny that.
The ethnicity is like 98, 99% Japanese, 95% Japanese.
Yeah.
So definitely, if you go to Japan as a foreigner, you're going to shine. Like,
But you are going to be treated as like differently. But I think in a good way, I guess.
But you don't. I think at least there's something that I can say that in our field, and that's something that I always wanted to remark in the videos. As we are students and we are in these areas of young people, it's common not to see perhaps what's happening to people that is 50-year-old or 60-year-old, like 30 years ago. I don't know how was the things 30 years ago or even 20. So this is the video that I wanted to show you because at the beginning with the title, it can be really impressive. Japanese hate Spanish people, like what? But then you can see what he's talking about, and I think it's quite it makes sense. How do you feel, for example, have you ever had any experience that it's, I don't know, not that positive? Or?
No, I haven't met.
And because, well, perhaps some of you don't know, but he went to the United States for 1 month before this time, like how many years ago? 2, 3?
3.
Do you have any bad experience at that time, maybe?
No, that's not the discrimination, but I had it twice that happened to me. Yeah, by the way, I happened that I was in Los Angeles, and then there are 3 or 5 people distributing their CDs, and they said it's free. But I took it, and they came to me and surrounded me, and then please give me cheap. And then they charged me like $20, and then I took my wallet and I just gave them $5.
Oh.
And in Los Angeles also, there are people who are disguised, and they said, let's take a picture together. And I thought it's free, and we took a picture together. And the last moment they told me, please give me $20, and I just gave them $5.
Being in the university or being a university student, I feel that you are kind of like protected. Like you're in an environment that is quite safe for those topics, I feel. Also, I have to say that I had a privilege because I was a student in Tokyo Gaida, which is the University of Foreign Studies, and in Jamaica, which is private and also wants to have a lot of international students. So if you ask me directly, if I had any problem, for example, with the Japanese people, not necessarily. All the people that I met that was Japanese in general, they wanted to speak with me. They were really curious. Oh, where are you from? Speaking English. Or if I went to the event of Spanish cuisine and Spanish language, they wanted to speak with me Spanish. But I was thinking about this the other day because I was like, let's talk about this topic. And I felt that actually I did have one discrimination experience in Japan. And I'm going to let you know why. Once, for example, I was walking and I don't know why, now I think about it, I don't know why, but I met some guys and they asked me, where are you from? And I say, Colombia. And they say, oh, you're watching Netflix. Yeah, we saw Narcos, so cool. And I was like, But it was something like that, so it's something minor. But the biggest experience came with a professor. You may be thinking, Japanese professors are racist. No, he was an American professor living in Japan. Like a professor of, I don't know, geography and those things that was living in Japan for more than 20 years. But he said that he didn't speak Japanese. So it's quite interesting. But we were in this class of geography, so we have to discuss about different countries and different things, and we had to introduce ourselves. So I have a classmate that was Japanese, and we were Japanese and those things. So I say, I'm from Colombia. And he said all the stereotypical comment about Colombians that we are super tired of. That professor that was like 60-year-old was the only person to make that comment, and all the classmates, like the Japanese classmates and other classmates in the room, they were like, They were super, what's going on? Because the professor was like a really, Colombia, and everyone was, that was my only time that I felt like a, ooh. And it was someone that was from a different nationality but working in Japan.
Okay.
So it's quite interesting. So thank you so much for joining me. And I hope that nothing bad happens to you
Okay.
in the future.
Okay.
And if something happens, we can expose that experience here. Y a ustedes muchísimas gracias por ver. Saben que tienen este video para que lo vean en la descripción y en los comentarios. Y el mensaje principal que queremos dar acá es que por lo menos en nuestros medios y las personas que se muevan en esos ámbitos, no es tan común encontrar esos casos. Más allá quizás de, obviamente, la señora que no se haga al lado de uno en el tren, quizás personas que no se le sienten uno al lado en el bus, por ese miedo de interactuar. No he sentido una discriminación por parte de los japoneses y espero verdaderamente que a nadie le pase. Si alguno de ustedes ha sentido una de estas experiencias, por favor escríbanoslas para poder entender qué fue lo que pasó. También todas sus preguntas, dudas, sugerencias son súper bien recibidas porque nos ayudan a llegar también a más gente y queremos ser de ayuda para ustedes. Entonces, que tengan un bonito día. ¡Matane!
Bye bye.